Hi there, and happy Monday to you. It's Kimberly Beer here with Make It Happen Monday. One thing you can do this week to better market your business. And today I want to talk about personality Facebook pages. Now, let me be clear right up front. What I am talking about here is a public figure page on Facebook, and that's the terminology Facebook will use for it. But for my customers and the way that I feel that people ask this question of me at seminars, I think that they're asking something more directly related to a personality Facebook page, something that would be them separate, so to speak, from their business. Now, the reason this topic comes up in conversation a lot in my world is that I work with a lot of solo entrepreneurs, and their businesses tend to begin to be built around that particular individual's talent or their particular thought leadership or their particular art. So I do run into this question quite frequently. And the answer, should you have a personality Facebook page or a public figure page, as Facebook calls it, is really that it depends. It depends on where you see your marketing going in the future and also how much time you really want to invest in Facebook itself. So let's begin by really clarifying what I'm talking about here, because this gets a little bit on the muddy side. So I'm not talking about your personal profile. Your personal profile is the place where you make friends and you interact with your friends and family. Although that can start to become a place that you do business, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, it is not the place that I'm talking about here. So we're going to set that profile aside for a moment and understand that's not what we're discussing. I'm also not discussing your business profile if that business profile is associated with your name. For example, I have the page Kim Beer Photography. That's not what I'm discussing. That page is actually underneath my corporation, but it is a separate kind of entity all within itself, and it is a business all within itself. In other words, the page doesn't really focus on me or my lifestyle. It may have pieces and parts of that, but the real focus of the page is sharing really beautiful horse imagery and showing off the photography aspect of my particular art. Now, it's just like, it could be any business name. It could be the Beer Ranch Photography or Missouri Photography or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily have my name attached to it, although that's the way that I chose to put it out there to the world. And I know that there are a group of you that are following me that have similar situations. Again, that's not what I'm discussing here. That is a business entity. What I'm talking about is a public figure page, a personality page, a page where you promote yourself, hopefully not with a crown and duck lips like this young lady here, but I think it gets the point across in that it's your personality, it's your lifestyle, it's what you're doing. And there are some valid reasons for you, whether you're a solo entrepreneur or an artist or someone who wants to move forward in thought leadership, for you to have this type of a page on social media and start to promote yourself in that way. So let's take a look at some of those reasons of why you might want to do this. If you answer yes or identify with these particular statements, you are probably a pretty good candidate for having a personality page. If you are a published author, or you plan to be a published author, or if you plan to be or are a public speaker, it's a really good idea to have a personality page, or it can be a good idea. There are some drawbacks to this, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. If your business is intrinsically tied to your name and you are the business, in other words, it is very centric around your you as the talent, and you don't intend for your business to go beyond you. That's a big component here. You don't intend for your business to go beyond you. Then you may want to consider having a personality page. May want to consider. There are some reasons, again, why you might not want to do this and why you might want to opt for the either remaining or choosing to do like Kim Beer Photography and keeping it with your name, but still a business entity that is pretty separate from you. If you are the brand for your business, and further down this list, if you are in your business's target market, then there is another really valid reason for you to be to have a personality page, because you represent the group of people that you're trying to reach. And that is one way that social media marketing really happens to shine, is that it groups people together with like-minded interests, or it helps people group together. And when someone has a leader in that vein, it becomes easier for them to do business with that individual once that business is introduced. So in other words, you can attract the people that you would bring into your business by just simply living your lifestyle. And so I have numerous clients that fit this particular vein of interest. I have one who is a recovery coach, but she's been through recovery. So for example, her particular situation might lend itself really, really well to having one of these personality pages. And we've actually been talking about beginning that because her lifestyle is something that represents what her customers or target market would be interested in following. If you are a solo artist, if that is, again, it kind of goes back to that your business name and business is intrinsically tied together with who you are and your talent. Those are reasons that you might want to have a personality page. And also, if you are a thought leader or plan to be a thought leader, that's someone who generates a lot of interest, and they typically fall into the author and speaker category along with the thought leadership category, but someone who wants to really change the world. It's very mission driven to change the world within an industry and has a business that is associated with that. And finally, if you're a personality away from your business, so maybe this is something totally separate. Maybe you teach photography classes, but you are also a photographer and lead a photography lifestyle. So the photography classes or workshops are your business, but the lifestyle of being a photographer is a separate deal for you, or it's completely and totally different. In other words, you're in an industry and you write books. So, and that's not associated with the industry. So if you are a personality away from your business, if you identify with these statements, then there could be a very valid argument for you having a personality page. The answer is a pretty solid no. If your business is a separate and complete entity on its own, even if it has your name associated with it, then if it's a separate and complete entity, you may not want to do your personality page, unless, again, with the caveat that you have something totally and completely separate, like the last topic on the last slide. If you intend to someday sell your business to someone else to operate, you also don't want your personal lifestyle so ingrained in it that you start that person out at a detriment when they purchase your business. So if it's something that you intend to sell as a whole at some point in the future, then possibly you don't want to have a personality page that is directly associated with your business, with the exception of the fact that you're going to sell the business, but you're going to continue to do authoring, speaking, and thought leadership around it. So that could be a totally separate reason. If you have or plan to have a hands-off approach to the public part of your business, then there's no reason for you to have a public personality page or a public figure page. If your brand or target market is very different from your lifestyle, in other words, that your brand or target market isn't really inspired or wants to achieve or even connects with your lifestyle, it could be something that attracts a completely different group of people than your target market. And so it's really not of a big benefit for your marketing to be able to have that personality page. And honestly, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons to say no to this, is that you don't want to maintain two Facebook presences. Because your public figure or personality page, chances are it's going to be a separate page from your business page. So you're actually going to have two public Facebook presences that you have to maintain. So that's just double the work. For some of you, that double work may pay off in spades. For others of you, it just may be more work than you want to invest in for your return that you're going to get from Facebook. Before you claim your page, really assess how you want your brand to be tied to your name and your life. Understand that your life does become an open book for the public when you begin to push yourself out there as a personality. And also understand that when you let people into your life and your lifestyle, you need to be very open. And you're going to expose a lot of things that you may not have thought about. And your family could be one of those things. So definitely make sure that they are on board with it. And also, finally, make sure you're ready to make that commitment to maintaining 2 Facebook presences and the time that that takes and the investment that that takes. Now, my month of May is devoted to shameless self-promotion. And for a lot of business owners, this is probably one of the hardest things that they do. A personality page is shameless self-promotion. You do not need to be ashamed of this. If you decide you want to move forward with it, open up your life and really let people in an authentic way, and they'll really connect with you. Now, for my introverts in the crowd who say, I just can't do that. I just cannot expose myself quite as publicly as you're asking, but I think it might be a right thing for me to do. I do have a suggestion for you, and that's to have a brand mascot. Now, this cute little Jack Russell here is absolutely adorable with his selfie, and this may seem a little gitchy, but people like this. It feels authentic to them. And if you have an animal mascot or a personality mascot that you can create that helps sell your business and the lifestyle to the target market that you're trying to reach, then I am all for you using that. If it feels more comfortable for you to speak through someone like your dog or your horse, and I know a lot of you out there have dogs and horses that are directly associated with your business, because I work with a lot of people in the animal or equine industry, feel free to do that. Create that. I will never forget a client that I had years ago who we sent an email from her dog. And the dog happened to travel with her around to expos and shows. And people knew the dog, actually remembered the dog's name more than hers. And frankly, we had the highest open rates we'd ever had when the dog sent the emails, because he had that personality, authenticity, touch that sometimes we miss with humanity. So it's okay for you to have a mascot page. If that feels more comfortable to you, then you have my permission to go ahead and push that out there. The bottom line to this is that these lifestyle or personality pages on Facebook, they're really geared to attract the people that want to be like you to your business. And if that fits, if that is a good fit, or they want to position you as authority, and if that is a good fit, then this is a fantastic way for you to probably appeal to more people in a very different non-salesy way than it is to be on your direct business page. Although I do not think that these personality pages or public figure pages are very often a replacement for your main Facebook page. There may be exceptions to that rule, but as a rule, they tend not to be a replacement for your business presence, but an addition to that allow people a new and different way to connect with you. All right, so I hope that helps you understand a little bit more about business personality Facebook pages and whether or not one of those might work for you. By the way, to create one, you do it just the same way you did your business page. In the upper right-hand corner, there's the little of your main Facebook page. There's a little downward triangle. Click on that and click on Create Page, or just go to facebook.com/create a page. and it'll walk you through the steps in order for you to do that. All right. Thank you and have a great week. Go out there and smile like this little Jack Russell and enjoy your week. Thank you.